rise for a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Susie, the roll, please.
Councilmember Groves.
Here.
Councilmember Chambers.
Here.
Councilmember Salzweedl.
Here.
Councilmember Yankovic.
Here.
And Mayor DeVore.
Here. Consent agenda for tonight.
I'll make that motion to approve it.
I'll support.
Discussion or changes? Sue?
Councilmember Groves.
Yes.
Mayor DeVore.
Yes.
Councilmember Salzweedl.
Yes.
Councilmember Yankovic.
Yes.
And Councilmember Chambers.
Yes. All right, before we go to public comment, we'll turn the meeting over to the chief.
Can I get Freddie come on up here? And his mom and dad if they'd like to. I guess I'll say a few things before we swear him in. We are going to swear in a new officer. Finally got somebody to come out here and work for us. His name is Freddie Raimondo. Because I'm an awful boss. His dad is Felipe, and his mom is Eulalia. Get that right? All right. Freddie is a 2021 graduate of Union High School, a 2023 graduate of the GRCC Police Academy, and he also comes to us from Grand Rapids Police Department, where he's working as an intern while he was going to the academy. So he has some exposure to law enforcement. Freddie is very young. How I met him is he came to the department, dropped off a resume and a cover letter, and since I was in the office, I said, well, come on back, let's come back and talk. So Gordy, Sergeant Lauren and I talked to him for a little while and realized, hey, this kid's pretty smart, and I think he would fit here, until we learned that he was only 19 years old. And we thought, why don't we even hire him? So we had to look that up, because we never hired somebody that young. Very intelligent young man, very family oriented, very big into his church, and we thought we need to grab onto this guy because he's going to be valuable once we get him trained. Did a very extensive background on him, something we haven't done in a long time because we usually hire experienced people that come from other departments, and we rely on them because they've already done the background. So I went to all kinds of places. Went to his high school, went to the college, went to Grand Rapids Police Department, and everywhere I went, I heard good things about Freddie. He was a JROTC cadet, made the rank lieutenant, correct?
I believe it was first sergeant.
First sergeant, okay. His school first sergeant had nothing but good things to say. Talked to the director, David Koch, who used to be a deputy with the Sheriff's Department, highly recommended him. And even his co-workers and most of the people at the GRPD that I talked to said, yep, he's a good kid. He just needs some experience. He even went out, we even had him come out and ride with us for a week to try us out to see if he would like it here. Every officer that we had him ride with all sent me a letter saying, yeah, we need to pick this guy up. Went up to the range with him and qualified without a problem. So we did a background. After the background check was completed, we brought him in for an interview. We spent 2 hours asking him questions, having him tell us things, and very well. He did very well for such a young man, which is a compliment to his parents. Raised him very well. So tonight we are going to swear him in with his mom and dad here. So if I can have Sue come on.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office of part-time police officer
the duties of the office of the part-time officer
in and for the city of Lowell,
and for the city of Lowell,
county of Kent,
county of Kent,
and the state of Michigan,
and the state of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me
so
God.
help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Speech?
Some of you are going to pick out a song from to sing.
Next, we meet again in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm prepared. Now we'll move on to public comment for items not on the agenda. None? Nothing in old, oh, come on, John.
3 minutes or 5?
5 here.
5 here. Thank you. My public, well, first of all, John Sturley, that good with you? 711 Avery Street? Okay, you gotta ask. Otherwise, okay. 711 Avery Street here in Lowell. I put my thinking cap on the other day, and this is something that I think could really benefit the city. And I'm gonna classify it as an informal meeting. Informal meeting, or a forum if you would, which in this last couple months, we've been going over this stuff about the rollaway and the building down there and the rental properties and whatnot. And I really felt badly for the developer, where they were here during the planning commission a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And bottom line is, you know, he has to wait, he has to wait, he has to wait. Come back and we'll talk about it again. When I built my place on 711 Avery 5 years ago, I wanted to start in the summer, start making plans in the spring. Bottom line is I got a basement in and it gets cold. So I couldn't really build until the next week, or the next season, not next week, the next season. Well, in the meantime, I'm paying interest on money that I borrowed and whatnot at cost. So my suggestion would be to open City Hall Fridays if you want, or any day, because you're closing on Friday and you're looking for something to do with City Hall on Fridays because the building is not going to be occupied. Not, you know, totally empty, but anyway, have informal meetings between the department people, you know, Lowell Light and Power, police, Chamber of Commerce, all of these entities, and pick your time, I don't care, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, a couple hours, and make it informal. So if people want to come in and ask questions, because I know when, you know, a question that I had was dealing with the building inspector. You don't have one here in Lowell. So you go to the planning commission, they don't always have the right kind of answers for the question that a contractor would have. So in the meantime, you got to research on your own, takes time. So if you could really work together as a unit, because I know when I was in education, teaching school, you know, we had teachers meetings, much as we didn't like them. You know, the administrator was there and teachers would give input, and it's really good input. So it's not something that you have to sign up for, have an agenda, just have a slot, time period where people could come and you know, bring up a point, ask a question, whatever, and get an answer and get the whole community together. End of sermon. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Anybody else?
Bob Rowley, 404 East Green. Couple things. I'd like to clarify the parking in 23-02. It limits it between Hudson and Jefferson Street for 2 to 6 a.m. I'm assuming beyond those, it's 24 hours a day you can park on the street, all 365 days of the year. I can't find anything that says that's not true, so I'd like to clarify that. Next topic is, did we file for vacation of Horatio Street, opposing it?
Yes.
That's been submitted? Yes. Okay. And the next one is the speed limit. You have an extra officer, you can send them down to our area because they're going extremely fast down there. It's been that way for a while. I mean, pre-COVID, we had a lot of officer presence. They'd sit in the rollaway parking lot. We hardly ever see them, although this weekend I did see one car finally pull over again, but it's out of control down there.
I'll make a note of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll close public comment. We're empty for old business, so we'll go new business. Number A, no, number 14, dump box. Michael.
So in the current fiscal year budget, $20,000 was budgeted for the replacement of the number 14 dump truck, which is our small dump for our cemetery. With the dump box, we received a quote from Ideal for $27,914. There's a difference of $7,914 in the budget. However, what was not accounted for originally was for extra funds for body replacement, which is needed to the truck, and this quote provides that. However, there are funds available to complete this work. I recommend the Lowell City Council approve the purchase and body replacement for number 14 dump truck at a cost not to exceed $27,914 from my deal.
Wait time.
Ralph said it should be turned around pretty quick.
Good.
It's like 22 to 26 weeks in the notes, so it's half a year.
Yeah, typical. Better than we're getting for everything else, yeah.
Say again?
Better wait time than we're getting for your cars.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Mike? Body replacement for number 14 dump truck.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Discussion or changes? Sue?
Mayor DeVore,
Yes.
Councilmember Salzweedl,
Yes.
Councilmember Yankovic,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilmember Groves.
Yes.
All right, next one is the storm drain repair at 1030 West Main.
Yeah, DPW staff has been dealing with an issue with our storm drain near 1030 West Main for quite some time. The storm drain is deteriorating and needs to be replaced at the base where the storm water is going. Failure to replace this will lead to a failure, and we do not believe this will make it to the winter. DPW has tried getting 3 quotes for the work, and they were able to get 2 quotes from 2. The first one was Earthworm Excavating from Lowell, $12,240. Second one, Georgetown Construction of Jensen, $36,550. These funds were not budgeted. However, there are funds in the major street fund to complete this work. All of the necessary parts for repair have already been purchased, so we avoid any markup for purchasing those separately. I'm recommending for the Lowell City Council to approve Earthworm Excavating to complete the necessary storm drain repair at 1030 West Main for a cost not to exceed $12,240.
Any questions for Mike on that? Motion for the storm drain repair.
I make the motion to approve.
And I'll support.
Discussion or changes? Sue?
Councilmember Salzweedl,
Yes.
Councilmember Yankovic,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilmember Groves,
Yes.
Mayor DeVore.
Yes. Cliff, board and commission report.
Laura, we did not meet. I have nothing.
Okay, Jim?
You filled in for me, so I'll look forward to the report.
Yeah, Leah?
I've got nothing.
Marty?
Planning Commission. Several people here were in attendance. I know John was frustrated with the 3 minutes versus 5. That's something that Planning Commission has on their own, which I was unaware of. Good talks. We did postpone them till next month to come back. We did do start the site plan review, and B and C need to be addressed. So stay tuned next month.
Good?
Yep.
All right, I sat for Jim on Light and Power, he was on vacation, and that is just crazy impressive board. There's so much public utility knowledge and planning, and they didn't have any action items. We gave an update on utility benchmarking. So Craig, you can jump in if I'm wrong, but it shows you what your value is for a private utility versus consumer versus other outage times versus infrastructure versus light and power is so much more than saving you, I don't know, 23%, right, average residential rate. So you're 23% cheaper before you factor in the fact that you don't lose power in these storms, and if you do, it's for a very shortened amount of time.
Don't have to throw away a freezer full of.
Correct, yeah. Or spend more on gas for a generator than your electric bill would have been. There were an update about the storm. Most of the outages were storm related. There was no additional major outages. What else did I miss? That's it, right? Some public power. Oh, the customer survey came back.
Preliminary results are looking,
Yeah.
we haven't got the
You
final.
gotta clean them up a little bit,
tabulation,
but there was a really good turnout in that. And they meet again on October 10th. And nobody yelled at me the whole time. It was a great meeting.
No squirrels?
No squirrels.
All right.
No. Couple of geese, but no squirrels. Budget report questions. Monthly report questions. City manager report.
Couple items, water plant proposal, I met with Williams and Works. Myself, Ralph Brecken, and Brian Van Beelen met with Williams and Works last Monday. They are going to work on getting us a quote. We should have something for you to look at by the October 17th meeting, or October 16th meeting. Working with the fair to see whether or not we can keep the beef in the dairy barns. They're going out for bids right now, or I think their deadline might have passed to demo the bid, to demo all the barns. The only ones that are originally staying right now were the Reef Barn and and obviously the King Building. But there is interest in possibly keeping the beef in the dairy barn, maybe turn those into some pavilions for the park. Police Department, a couple of things in response, obviously to some of the speeding questions. We have mandated that the police officers do 3 traffic stops per shift. And the chief is designating areas for them to do. If they don't do 3 stops a shift, they need to tell the police chief why. So they're starting to do that. And then also we are looking at, we're going to put a look grant into for a speed radar on Hudson coming in over by the YMCA going southbound into the city. So we are looking at that. And then at the next meeting, Rich will be here for me. He starts on the 25th. I will be at the ICMA conference in Austin, Texas. That's all I have.
Questions for Mike? Council comments, RG.
Got nothing.
Marty.
Good thing I already got my answer. Light and Power I sat on that board for a long time with Jim. And believe me when I say this, everybody over there has one goal in mind, and that is to keep the ratepayers up and running 24/7, irregardless of what it takes. We do get the rogue squirrel incident where it will take out a transformer. And I used to send Brian little squirrel notes, right? And it was always a lot of fun. But that entire department, everybody there has one goal, and that is to keep this city lit 24/7, 365. They had their way. I'm quite sure it'd be forever. Second thing, I'd like to thank the chief, police department. I'm glad to see we got a new part-time. At least as good as we think. Maybe we can make him full-time here. It's really good to see somebody that young want to be part of this. And as y'all know, we've been struggling to get an officer. You're competing against bigger houses than us, so very glad to see that. And that is that.
I want to pick up what Marty said, not just with low light power, but all our boards. Everybody volunteers their time for these boards. It's not an elected official or anything like that. And currently there are probably going to be some other boards down the road that are going to feel a pinch as well from the citizens of Lowell. So bear with them, work with them, listen to them, and I hope they're all listening to you as well as when these concerns are developed. So it's very important for us to work like that part of it. Other thing is that over the summer we put off coffee with council, and we talked about starting it back up on October 7th. I was going to take over the spearheading of that, but unfortunately I am not here October 7th. So I haven't seen my daughter's cottage in 3 years, and she's been riding me pretty hard about getting up there and spending some time up there. It just happened to be that weekend. So do we want to look at that or just pick it up in November?
No,
guys.
I'll spearhead October. Let's get it back up and running. Let's come up in the meantime with a little bit of a, I don't want to, John made a good point about limiting, right? And coffee with council is kind of a wide open, you can spend the 2 hours sitting there. I think I'd kind of like to see us at least put a
Structure.
yeah, you know, maybe that's something you and I can look at.
Sure. Yeah, one thing I think is important when we go there is that I know a lot of people come there just to listen. but at least let's acknowledge that they're there and
Yeah.
at least
Yep.
get them to talk and, you know, and at least, maybe they will engage, maybe they do have something, or even after a few topics have been talked about, that they, hey, what else do you want to say? So that, to me, is one of the biggest things, is acknowledging everybody that comes to these and see what they have to say, so. But I'll get with you, Marty, and we'll see what we can put together.
Okay.
And we will limit some comments. Sometimes some
Yep.
people come in and that's all they do is talk the whole time, and it is a little intimidating for people that have not been there. So, you know, whoever leads that group will take that responsibility to make sure that we're staying on track, which I think is important.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's important to recognize that it's coffee with council, so
Mhm.
people are coming to have coffee with council. They're not coming to, I mean, perhaps share a conversation with neighbors, but they're coming to engage with council. And I think it's important and our duty to keep people on task as well.
yeah.
So I invite everybody in October to come. I make wicked good coffee. Let me
Yes,
just
he
tell
does.
you that.
I will not guarantee I will make as good as coffee.
Harry offered me 2 Mountain Dew energy drinks if I stayed up after work and came to coffee with council, but I told him,
I thought we were gonna do a Love Wines tasting.
8 o'clock in the morning?
At 9 in the morning.
I would stay up for that.
I'll do for most.
Mine was everything.
Boy, that'd get everybody in, wouldn't it?
Have Marty start sending people bills after.
So that's all I have.
All right, and I don't have anything, so we'll go back to Jim.
What about Cliff?
Oh,
That's fine. I wore the shirt as requested.
all right.
I'm gonna tie in with the evening's theme about the importance of communication. I live on Monroe, and as you know, we've had a little work done over the last couple, 3 months, and I have to say I was guilty of letting stuff pile up, because I thought, I don't want to mention that, I don't want to mention that, and then last Monday, my court exploded, and I unloaded on CL Trucking, and Tuesday he came in and we had a heated exchange, but then my wife and daughter stepped in and things got calmer. But there were several issues, so if anyone is living on Monroe and you have complaints, don't bottle them up. They meet twice a month at the chamber, tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
No, second and fourth.
Well, isn't that twice a month?
Yeah,
Second and
But
fourth
it's not-
we met last
Tuesday.
week.
It's
We
not
met last
tomorrow.
week.
So it won't be this.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
We're just trying to help.
They are there twice a month.
But you don't even need to wait. We
Right.
just call City Hall, we'll take care of it.
Let Mike know, let me know. A lot of the issues have been addressed, and I got an apology from the owner of the company, and I think it might go better going forward.
And they've been, them and Williams and Worksrite have been very receptive to
Yeah,
the concerns of the community.
tried, yeah. We really tried.
That's all I got.
Now, Jim.
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:23.
I'll support.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. Yeah. Mary